Hello everyone, this is Suddenly Jester, and welcome back to another episode of Enter the Gungeon. I think we're going to choose the pilot character on this run, simply because, as I mentioned in the last episode, he's my favorite character. I like the fact that he essentially gets a discount in shops, which is very helpful since shops can really make your run if you're having difficulties, and he has a few other good things that I will get into shortly after this loading screen, that I'm going to cut out. Anyway, the other things that Pilot has is that, for one thing, as another sort of passive thing, he has an increased active item storage. So if we get another active item besides the one we have now, we'll be able to use that as well. Speaking of active items, the one that he starts with is the lockpick, which is pretty much the definition of sketchy. I mean, sometimes it can do good things for you, but most of the time it'll do the exact opposite. Essentially, you can use the lockpick on a chest or a locked door, or pretty much any lock besides the cage lock. Oh, here's a good demonstration. And it'll have a chance to open it. However, it also has a chance to jam it, so you won't be able to open it ever. Overall, I found that the locks tend to jam more often than they open, so it's really a last resort. However, that being said, I do like to use the lockpick on blue and brown chests, simply because overall I'm probably not going to get too many useful things out of them anyway. Oh, surprisingly, on the first try, it actually opened the chest, and we got the poison vial. I'm not going to complain about that. I mean, it's not my favorite active item, but I suppose we can make it work. Anyway, the last thing that the pilot has is, well, this little gun here that he starts out with. It's essentially his infinite ammo gun. It's alright. It's not my favorite thing that still goes to the Marine, but the main downside of it is that it feels pretty inaccurate. I mean, it actually does pretty good damage. It's not a bad gun, but a lot of times it feels like the shots miss more often than they hit. Well, again though, we are doing pretty well on this run so far. That was a bad table flip. So, you know what, maybe I just had bad luck or something, or maybe I just have a lot better luck when I'm on camera. Other than that, I suppose my main problem is that I tend to try to use it from far away, which is kind of a bad idea with guns. You see, there we go. It's a gun that's best used up close, because that's when you're more likely to hit. But so, this is one gun that I don't recommend sniping with. That would probably go to either the Marine or the Hunter's pistol. I mean, there's nothing special about the Hunter's accuracy, but I found that her pistol, in my experience, tends to be pretty accurate. Anyway, hoping we can get another gun soon. That was close, because much like the Marine episode previously, I really don't like having to stick with the infinite ammo gun for too long. I mean, I still prefer the Marine and the Pilot over the Convict and the Hunter, despite the fact that they start with an extra gun, mainly because in my opinion their guns aren't that great, and I do like the skills that these characters have besides that. I think a good assessment is that the Hunter and the Convict are good in the early game. However, the Pilot and the Marine skills can really help get you through the late game, especially in the Pilot's case once the shops start getting more expensive. Anyway, it doesn't really matter since we are using the infinite ammo pistol, but a good tactic to use against those small slime things or not waste ammo, simply roll over them. That being said though, I prefer to just switch to the infinite ammo gun, simply because, you know, there is a bit of unnecessary danger when it comes to rolling over enemies in order to damage them. I much prefer to just roll through bullets. Anyway, despite the fact that the lockpick can screw you over, it is good if you use it wisely, simply because it can help you conserve keys. Like, to be honest, I would have been pretty disappointed getting the poison vial if we actually used a key to open that brown chest, but to be honest, when you get something for free, then, you know, it's kind of hard to be mad about it. You know, that being said though, unless I absolutely have no choice, like there's absolutely no key in the level, I've cleared the level and everything, defeated the boss, there's no way to get a key, I would not use this lockpick on any higher tier chest, especially not rainbow chest, which pretty much handed my first victory to me on a platter. I've never seen a rainbow chest since. I imagine they're super rare, but for those of you that have not gotten one and you don't know what they do, they basically just spawn out a ton of items. I'm not sure if like the items are destined to be really good items and such, but the ones I got were pretty amazing. I got some pretty good combos like the Meat Boy gun. I think I actually talked about this in the last episode. Sorry. But regardless, I find her not to talk about because it was a pretty amazing run. It is one of those things that I really wish I was recording, but unfortunately I wasn't. Speaking of recording, something I want to talk about in this episode, I might end up changing my schedule around. And that, admittedly, for the worse, actually. Oh, that was stupid of me. But what I'm planning on doing is, like, I might end up recording for less days, because as it is right now, I post every day except for weekends. For the most part, it feels like a pretty good schedule, except when I've only just started this video thing, so this might be why, but when I feel like when I'm sort of, what's the word, burden? No, not burden, that's a bad word for this. Responsible for posting, you know, every single weekday, I kind of feel burned out. Like, for the past few days, I actually sort of have been dreading making a recording. Oh wow, twice in a row. But, not because I don't enjoy recording. In fact, I really, really love doing this. It's just, it's hard to explain. So, I think I might try recording like less, but that will mean I will start posting on weekends if the system calls for it. I might start posting just once every few days, like 2 or 3 days. I'm not sure, like, if you're listening to this video and, like, you do care about this stuff, let me know what you think. I'm not sure how many comments I'll actually get, and, wow, I think this might be the first time in a long time I'm actually not going to no-hit Trigger Twins. That's kind of embarrassing. But, as I was saying, if you care, let me know what you think, and I will appreciate any kind of feedback or suggestions that anyone has. Anyway, I didn't talk about this much, but this flare gun's pretty nice, actually. I mean, I don't like using it against the stage, but against bosses, it's pretty okay. That being said, I would like to take care of Shades over here as quickly as possible. Mainly because he is at low HP, and I do like to, when facing a dual boss, about 2 hits. When facing a dual boss, I do like to at least get rid of one of the bosses relatively quickly. Come on, where is he? Over here. If this doesn't kill him, the next shot definitely will. And 3 hits. Yeah. 4 hits. This is not good. I'm actually tempted to start with this recording over if it weren't for the fact that I do try to be as legit as possible and show you everything when I make a video, for better or for worse. I mean, yeah, if I'm recording and I manage to no-hit like Treadnought or something, I'm certainly going to show it off as far as the world can see, but I'm not going to like posting this. Let's just end this now. I suppose this is what I get for not playing this game for a while. I've actually been pretty busy playing other games like Dead Star. Pretty great game. I think I might do a one-off video on it, but overall I have been neglecting my Gungeon skills, and I'm now suffering for it. Anyway, the gun I just got now is the Blunderbuss. It's a pretty alright gun. I mean, it can be kind of unwieldy, but I like to use it to clear the stage mainly, because it does do a pretty decent amount of damage, and it's pretty good in groups. Especially when fighting groups of relatively tanky enemies like this. Although that being said, when I was talking about this damage, if these things didn't start dying as soon as I said that, I would have been quite sad. A good rule I have for it is to essentially have it primed when entering a room, much like when I get something like Brimstone or Monsters Long and Isaac. Another great game that I'm very tempted to play on this channel. Maybe in the future, once I'm done with, once I get some episodes of Gungeon up. Essentially, I want my main schedule to be, and I'm not talking about when I record and stuff, but rather when what kind of videos I make. I think a good deal to have is essentially 2 series going on, and at the same time to have a couple of like endless series going on. Things like essentially roguelites, like Nuclear Throne, Binding of Isaac, Enter the Gungeon. That's what I'm currently doing, and I'm pretty okay with that. The only thing I feel getting burned out by is my schedule, not exactly what games I'm playing. And I think I'm going to save up for this knife shield, because I saw in the last episode, and I'm pretty curious as to what it does, because as far as I know, there aren't any knives in the Gungeon, unless you count the dual knives that the High Dragon carries with him. Oh, there's another entrance up here. I was very concerned about where we have to go. And I'm going to try not to fire this gun inside the shop. There's pretty much no point in annoying the shopkeeper. all that's going to happen is that he'll give you higher prices, and he'll shoot at you and make shops available for the rest of the run. Unavailable for the rest of the run. Sadly, you can't even steal items from him when he's angry at you. Like, I have heard you can steal items. I have no idea how. Didn't look it up because I kind of want to figure that out for myself. But as soon as I do, I'll certainly let you guys know. I kind of wonder if that annoys him as well, or if you do it sort of anonymously, for lack of a better term. Actually, no, anonymous is really not a good term. Discreetly. There we go. I mean, I certainly hope it's not like the Spelunky shopkeepers when, you know, steal something from them, or really just find some way to annoy them slightly, and they're going to have a shotgun in your face before you even know it. Die. Die again. Oh, one of them's still alive. Well, I mean, one of them hasn't split, but, you know, that took care of the job. It even sent them spiraling into the void, which makes me strangely happy. No matter how cute something is, I take great joy in watching them fall to their death. I think I just received the definition of instant karma right there, as I didn't quite fall to my death, but I certainly lost armor because of it, and I feel pretty silly. The traps in this game annoy me. Like, annoy me in a good way, if that makes sense. Like, they don't like piss me off or anything, but they make for interesting room layouts. I am speechless. This run is not going too well. I mean, the guns we are getting are, you know, pretty okay. I'm certainly not going to be mad at that. But I am just taking all sorts of unnecessary damage, and it is just terrible. I don't know, maybe it helps make up for the last run? Ooh, this is a good one. Maybe it helps make up for the last run, where on the first video I actually got pretty far. Still nothing like my first Nuclear Throne video, in which we ended up defeating the captain on the first run. And it was my first captain to beat as well, so can't complain. In fact, the only thing I could have done to top that into the Gungeon would be if I managed to somehow get every item needed for the side quests to the shopkeeper person in the forge in one run, which would have been undoubtedly amazing and would have put me down as a legend in this kind of game. Or maybe that's just wishful thinking. Probably. I'm not even sure how you could actually bring all 4 items at once, considering that I do believe they're all counted as active items. Now, maybe if you start with the pilot and you get like a bunch of carry capacity up things, like, I suppose theoretically it's possible, but in practice it's probably not going to happen unless you pray nightly to RNGesus while sacrificing literally everyone you know to him daily. You have to go out and meet new people just to sacrifice them. One more hit and we're dead. I really want this guy to be dead. One more hit. Thank you. Was there health in the shop? Like, I want to buy the knife shield, and we can afford it as well, but... health... Let's see. How much is the knife shield? 36. You know what? For the sake of new items, I'm going to play it stupid and buy it. Anyway. Oh, it's an active item. I'm actually kind of curious as to what that does. Be right back, everyone. Well, actually, first let me just read this. Don't worry about those. Those are something I bought. The knife shield is a shield made of blasphemous knives. Be wary of using it, and is believed to bring upon the anger of the jammed. No clue what that does, but I'm going to test it out right now because I'm curious. Hopefully the shopkeeper won't get too mad at this. Oh. I quite like that. Hold on, let me just take my lockpick back real quick. And because I don't really want that poison jar. Wow, that shield lasts for a long time. I actually really like this. So, you know, even if I die on this run, and I probably am going to die very quickly, at least I got to get this item. Very grateful I did not die there. I don't think I could have ever lived that down, no matter how often I do these videos. And... go away. You scare me. I'm not going to push it off, actually. I'll probably die if I do that. Oh, great. This room. The knives are actually quite powerful. Oh, I was about to say the knives are quite powerful, but that's not really the best example because those mage guys are actually pretty squishy. These guys are actually surprisingly hardy, but the ones that cast invincibility are thankfully they die pretty easily. Anyway, of all the things I want to die to, you know, not saying I want to die, I really don't want to die to the standard bulletkin. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Anyway, I can see what it means by bring on the anger of the jammed. I mean, after we use it, the first enemy-filled room we go to has a jammed enemy in it. Admittedly, not too sure if it's worth it because jam guys are a pain in the neck to deal with at times. Like, those are the dark red enemies that we found a bunch of in the last episode. Once again, another Isaac comparison. Think of it as essentially champions, because that's basically what they are. They're essentially stronger enemies that I believe do full heart of damage, and they take more hits to go down. So actually, now that I think about it, they're pretty much exactly like the Isaac champions. Huh. Not accusing this game of copying or anything, like I don't really care, because, you know, it's overall kind of cool. And overall, when it comes to accusing games of copying others, there's a limit. Like, sometimes, yeah, you have a point, other times just being a fanboy. And that's not something I want to be. Okay, so I think we're going to go to the shop and buy a half heart because we can afford it. And then I'm going to challenge the boss. Hello. Thanks for the poison wild jump. Okay, so the rat can actually steal active items as well. I thought he only stole things like, I thought he only stole ammo boxes. Makes sense, though. This guy. I'm not too fond of this guy. Did we find the last episode was Emoconda. Let me quickly use this knife shield because I like the damage. And I do indeed like the Vertebrae K-47 against bosses due to the homing capabilities. That was entirely my fault. I rolled away from the laser instead of into it. But I mainly like the Vertebrae K-47 due to its homing capabilities, as you can see. Granted, this guy's standing still, so the homing doesn't matter, but at least it does make for shooting down the rockets easier. Theoretically. There we go. Plus, it's piercing, so we aren't necessarily wasting bullets on dealing with the rockets. Hello. Go away. You are actually in a very annoying position, and I was about to blame you for taking damage, but no, that was my fault because I got trapped in a little alcove there. Anyway, I'm kind of surprised we just made it past the second floor because things are not going too well. Fat bullets. Do you know what the worst part about having a bad run is? Do you know what's worse than having a bad run? It's when you get a bad run but actually get really awesome items, because that just looks amazing. Onward. Stage 3. A little surprised we made it this far, but I'll be even more surprised if we manage to succeed, because we are not in a good position, and it's only getting worse, because this enemy placement is not what I was hoping for. Can you just go away? Like, I know that won't kill. Oh, surprisingly, I actually managed to kill one of these guys. Die. We only have one shot left in this blunderbuss. Let's make it count. Not get killed by that. Although we actually, I keep thinking that we only have one hit left, but I'm not paying attention. We do have a point of armor, so that's not too bad. I'm going to stick to this flare gun for now. I prefer to use the Vertebrae K-47 on bosses. Not that it's bad for clearing stages, you know, it's quite good at clearing stages, but I just like conserving the ammo for bosses. Yeah, that was my fault. Okay, so I should probably stop saying things are my fault, because that's actually pretty obvious and it's getting tiring at this point. Like, every once in a while, sure, but not when I keep saying it. Anyway, we got a convenient ammo crate, so we managed to get our blunderbuss ammo back. Not complaining. I am complaining about these little Phoenix enemies, and I'm complaining about that. Oh, I was expecting me to be a ghost, but no, someone else with an AK-47, but what I'm trying to say is I like to complain, but only about certain things. Ow, almost fell into the void there. And also, when I mentioned that I thought we had one hit left, no, I'm still stupid, because even if we didn't have armor, unless we, get hit by a jammed enemy like that, then we still have multiple hits left. That is going to be a very annoying jammed enemy to deal with, simply because it shoots these little skull things. Surprised we haven't gone hit in this room so far, although I really should not jinx it. Oh, thought that was an enemy. Die. Just go, well, not die, but go away. At least I'm getting used to use my blanks more, but it did not matter in the end. You know, I think I'm going to cut off the episode right. Please answer it! You know, I think I'm going to cut off the episode right here. You know, it's, 20 minutes, a pretty reasonable amount of time. I'm trying not to make as long as videos as I did in the last episode because a few people didn't like that. So, thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you guys later.